Hello everybody, this is James with the Basement Dweller here, and welcome to a special little segment, a special fun thing we're doing today. Uh, it's an interesting thing, this month. It has been a very, very big month for fighting games. Like, it's been huge. A lot of announcements, a lot of cool stuff. Street Fighter 6 got announced, all that, super fun stuff. And in the meantime, I realized I haven't made a video in a while, A. B, I haven't really talked about the news in fighting games at all recently. So I figured this video would be the perfect way to fix it. So, this is going to be a special little segment that we're going to call This Month in Fighting Games. We're going to be talking about a few fighting games today, because a lot. We're going to be talking about Street Fighter 6, we're going to be talking about Skullgirls, DNF Duel, and Strive Season 2, because a lot of big shit going on in, like, all regards. So first and foremost, game in question, Street Fighter 6. Game looks insane, alright? Street Fighter 6, by the looks of it, is going to be probably the most mechanically sound Street Fighter game since, like, Third Strike. It's going to have, like, parries, it's got a focus attack stand-in, they're bringing back multiple supers, like, increased power on ultras, the lower your health gets, shit like that. Like, it looks fucking crazy. It looks like a super fun game. They announced Chun-Li's theme, I think, like, last week, or, like, this week, Not a Little Girl. I don't know if you guys have heard Not a Little Girl. It's kind of amazing. It's a banger. Street Fighter's music direction it's getting there. They've got good shit going. I mean, like, Street Fighter 5 has banger soundtracks, but there's not a lot of Street Fighter 5 like songs that I just put on like video game music playlists, It's like a game that I solely listen to the music while I'm playing. Whereas Street Fighter 6, I'm hoping that it has some like Guilty Gear-esque bangers where I just listen to them as like actual music. So far we've seen 2 new characters, like in trailers and stuff. There was the little girl that Chun-Li was like training, which I don't remember her name, honestly. Honestly, when I first saw her, the way she looked, I thought it was fucking Area from like Street Fighter EX. It's not. We're also getting a Drunken Fist character, which I think is super interesting. Jamie, who is looking like, him and Luke are gonna be like this generation's Ryu and Ken, which I'm like all for. Apparently, like, there was a roster leak, so apparently we know most of the characters, and like, apparently like DJ is gonna be in the game, Blanca's gonna be in the game. It was like DJ, Blanca, Ryu, Ken, Luke, Jamie, Chun-Li, and then like a bunch of new characters. Ed, I think, was also base roster from the leaks, if I'm remembering correctly. Which, like, I want to see the Neo Shadaloo story get played out, because I feel like it's a very fun story to follow, because the characters in the Neo Shadaloo are super cool. And speaking of characters in Street Fighter 6, I would be remiss if I did not talk about the fate that has befallen our dear Ken Masters, because holy shit, he got divorced, he's a washed up, like, retiree fighter. He's like broke now. They got my man Ken looking dusty in Street Fighter 6. A lot of people have been talking about this. I am like so sad for Ken. But on that same note, every game he gets a little bit closer to looking like Terry Bogard, like Garu Mark of the Wolves Terry Bogard. So that's kind of cool. I'm a fan of that. That game looks insane though. Street Fighter 6, I am hoping that game is gonna restore people's faith in the Street Fighter franchise, like, on launch. Because, Street Fighter 5 is a good game, but it took a while to get here. Street Fighter 6 is looking crazy out of the packaging. But that's pretty much it for Street Fighter 6. Obviously, the game just got announced, so we don't really know shit yet. So, next, you know, we're going to talk about something that I actually have a bit of knowledge about. Skullgirls. Obviously, Dahlia got announced. I made a few videos about that. And we'll get to Dahlia, but a big thing that I want to talk about that's going around right now is Valentine, a very popular character, Valentine, the ninja nurse, is actually having her design reworked because of, like, the whole, if you're not an official, like, military organization, you can't use the Red Cross. Even though, you know, like, she's not using a red cross, she's using a pink cross. That's also, you know, supposed to be like a, you know, the deadly cross. Like, you know, she's throwing the fucking things at you. So they're replacing her sigil with a shuriken. Like, she's not gonna have the cross anymore, she's gonna have a shuriken. And they're replacing her, projectile with shurikens, which I think is kind of lame personally, because I feel like a big thing about her being the ninja nurse was that it was a nurse and a ninja, and now it's kind of just like extra ninja. Because like, like Deadly Cross, it wasn't the only like special move that shows that she's a nurse, but it was, I don't know, it's kind of a trademark. Like, that was her thing. So Valentine's getting redesigned. I don't know if she's already been redesigned. I think it's coming out when Dahlia Alpha comes out. Speaking of Dahlia Alpha, that's coming out later this month. I believe next week we're getting our first look at Dahlia outside of Combo Breaker. Because obviously, like, she was playable at Combo Breaker this last week, I think. And from what people have said, she's sick. So I'm super excited for Dahlia. Evo, Skullgirls is on the Evo lineup again this year, which, you know, rightfully so. Great game. I'm always down for Skullgirls getting announced for Evo. It's always one of my favorite announcements of the year. And apparently, after Evo, they're going to be announcing the final Season 1 character, which I think is, like, huge, because I don't think I'm the only person who's, like, super interested to see who they're gonna pick for the final Season 1 character. I don't even have a guess right now, because so far it's been characters that everybody wanted to get in. I'm holding out hope for Leduc, personally, just because, like, I love Leduc. Design-wise, they had a kit planned for him, like, they're kind of just going back and doing all the old, like, Patreon backer characters that were supposed to come out. So, I mean, like, I'm hoping that Leduc gets in, because he's cool. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. New Skullgirls content is new Skullgirls content. I'm very hyped. Which, a fourth character in Season 1, like that being the last character of Season 1, does bring up the question, is there going to be a Skullgirls Season 2? Which I also hope kind of gets announced. But, you know, I hope. I hope that there's going to be a Season 2. Next up on the list, in terms of fighting game news, DNF Duel, Dungeon Fighters Duel. Which, honestly, is not a game that I'm crazy about. I played the beta, and I was not huge on it. But it is fighting game news. It is news for a fighting game. They announced 4 characters between this week and last week. There was Swift Master, Troubleshooter, Enchantress, and Launcher. It's just characters. Like, honestly, I don't know shit about Dungeon Fighter as a series, like, as a franchise. And I did not fuck with the beta that much, so that's more just in here so people don't yell at me. It looks like a cool game. It's not my kind of fighting game. I like, characters do a little too much damage in DNF, and the control scheme was not very satisfying. I was not a fan of playing the DNF beta, but who knows, maybe when the game actually comes out, it'll be better. But that's pretty much it for DNF, because I don't know shit about that game. Apparently it's going to have rollback, which, you know, is a selling point for some people, not I. I honestly don't care about rollback netcode. I think rollback netcode is severely overhyped. If a game has rollback netcode, it doesn't automatically mean the game has good netcode. It just means it has rollback. Because everybody's like, oh, this game is going to be so good once it gets rollback. And it's like, this game is going to be so good once they have, you know, like, dedicated servers for it. Because a lot of, like, if your connection's bad, rollback's not going to make bad connection good. It kind of just makes bad... I've said it before, and it's an unpopular opinion that I hold about internet connectivity in fighting games. Honestly, if somebody's going to have garbage connection, I prefer to play delay-based connection to rollback. Because if somebody has bad connection and they have rollback, you're actually just going to get scammed. Because that's when motherfuckers start teleporting around the screen. They start doing attacks that don't land. It's like, if it's delay, the game just slows down. I'd much rather fight somebody in delay connection than rollback. If they have bad connection. For normal online, rollback is better. Because, you know, then you just don't have to deal with delay. And there's, like, one rollback frame. But that's my 2 cents about, you know, DNF duel and all that stupid shit. And then finally, a big thing that people have been talking about in terms of fighting games, Guilty Gear Strive Season 2. I'm not... My views on Guilty Gear Strive are strange. Because I genuinely think Guilty Gear Strive is a fun fighting game, and I love what it did for the fighting game community, where it got a lot of people who were like, I don't really know if I like fighting games, and it made them interested in fighting games. Because, you know, colorful universe, fun characters, all that stupid shit. I'm not huge about Guilty Gear Strive, because I feel like characters just aren't interesting enough in Strive. Like, yeah, no 2 characters are alike, but also there are only, like, 3 characters in the game that feel like they have finished kits. And I genuinely just am not a fan. Because it's been a problem since day one, and I know the game's been changed since the last time I've played, like, a lot, because I pretty much solely play that game when new characters come out. I played when Testament dropped and, like, Biken, and I was like, wow, that's cool that there's new characters, but also people are still playing the same 3 characters online, so... there are only so many times you can fight, like, the same 3 characters before the, you know, it's like, alright, I'm good. But Season 2 for that game looks very promising. Because the balance changes are crazy, characters do a lot more damage or less damage depending on your character. And, you know, that means more characters are coming soon. As I said, there hasn't been a single DLC character so far where I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to pick this guy up. The only DLC character so far that I've liked playing is Gold Lewis. Other than that, like, I'm not crazy about Biken, I'm not crazy about Testament, I'm not crazy about Happy or Jacko. Like, all those characters I'm just, like, about. But the balance changes look fun. I've been playing the same character since day one, and I do not intend to switch. I do kind of want to play Guilty Gear Strive on the channel, because every time I talk about Strive, people are like, oh, why are you talking shit about Strive? You don't even play it. And it's like, little do they know, I have been Celestial since week 1 of that game's launch. I was Guilty Gear launch party, okay? I played that game a lot on week 1. The game just ran out of shit for me to do during week 1. Because that's another issue with Guilty Gear, there really isn't shit to do in that game. Like, now there's the combos, like the combo editor and like that shit, which is cool. But like Season 1, like launch, that game had literally nothing to do other than play online. Because Guilty Gear, I've said it before, Guilty Gear probably has the worst story modes of fighting games. Not in terms of the story, but in terms of like the actual story mode being shit. Because like it is literally just cutscenes, like it's just watching a movie. And that shit is boring. But, you know, to each their own. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about things in Guilty Gear. So there were balance changes in Season 2. A lot of characters are the best they've ever been. Apparently Soul is really good this season. There was another story which dropped. I never watched another story. I plan on it once I go back to Guilty Gear. Because I've been debating buying Guilty Gear on PC. The only reason I haven't been playing Guilty Gear on YouTube is because I don't own it on PC. But Steam Summer Sale starts next week, so I just might. And apparently, you know, Guilty Gear Strive, it's a game with a lot of potential. There's a lot in the future of Guilty Gear Strive, which I'm pretty excited about, because like, once they add characters that I'm actually interested in playing, because I guess that's the thing, the characters that they've picked for DLC are characters that I notoriously do not like from the Guilty Gear franchise. That's like Testament, meh, I've never fucked with his gameplay. Jacko, I don't like her gameplay either. I'm waiting for them to add, you know, like, Jam, or like, like, I'm waiting for them to add characters that, like, I enjoy playing. Like, put Johnny in Guilty Gear Strive. Put Jam in Guilty Gear Strive. It's like Jam would work in Guilty Gear Strive. She's a very simple character. She would be perfect for Strive, because you don't have to strip her kit down that much to put her in the game. Which is my issue with Guilty Gear Strive. Like, coming from playing Zerd and having characters with, like, move lists that are, like, you know, 8 special moves long each, to having characters where, like, some characters in the game literally only have, like, 3 special moves. It's like, alright, this is kind of fucking lame. So, there's big things ahead for Guilty Gear Strive. I just hope that they pick, I guess, like, more fun characters rather than just characters people want to see in the game. Because, like, don't get me wrong, Testament and, like, Biken is cool, but, like, nobody's playing Biken online, bro. Like, nobody is playing Biken online. It's the Rain Melina thing all over again, where people want characters so bad, and then, like, they remember that they don't like playing them. So, I'm just hoping that they pick characters that were, like, fun to play and, you know, like Slayer and stuff, and put them in the game. But yeah, so that's everything that's happened in the last month in fighting games. We got Street Fighter 6, we got Skullgirls, you know, Valentine redesign and all that shit. We got the DNF dual characters, and we got the Guilty Gear Strive balance changes and another story. And that's pretty much it. That's everything I've wanted to talk about. I kind of just wanted to, like, get a concise list of everything that's been announced in the last few months, and I think this video serves that point very well. So if you like what you saw, remember to like, comment, subscribe, dislike it if you dislike it. This is me, Azazel the Basement Dweller, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!